Hello and welcome to another episode of Tech Talk. This week we'll be talking about mobile app development, and joining us for the discussion today is a mobile app developer. My name is Dorcas Yakubuzala. You're watching Tech Talk on Trust TV. Mobile app development is a process of creating software applications that are designed to run on mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets. These applications, commonly referred to as apps, serve a wide range of purposes from entertainment and communication to productivity and utility. These applications or apps can be pre-installed on phones during manufacturing or downloaded from the app stores or delivered as web applications using server-side or client-side processing, e.g. JavaScript, to provide an application-like experience within a web browser. Mobile app development has over the years grown steadily in revenues and jobs creation. Mobile applications date back to the end of the 20th century. Typically, they were small arcade games, ringtone editors, calculators, calendars, and so forth. The beginning of the new millennium saw a rapid market evolution of mobile content and applications. In 1997, the Nokia 6110 included a built-in version of the basic arcade game Snake, which many consider the first mobile app. Shortly after Apple's introduction of the iPod, the iTunes Store launched, acting as a precursor to the Apple App Store. The iPhone was released in June 2007 to critical and commercial success. Native apps were developed, and just over a year later, the App Store was launched. The original App Store launched with 500 apps, meaning there is no true first app. Nevertheless, as new varieties of smartphones were unveiled, different app clients were introduced. Google Play Store, the Amazon App Store, the BlackBerry's App World also give more people the ability to enjoy various apps on their phones. It's also worth mentioning that each store had both paid and free apps from the beginning, meaning premium and freemium content was always a factor. But then in 2009, Apple added the ability to add in-app purchases, which quickly became the dominant way to monetize apps, especially games. As at year 2023, the top 10 global most downloaded mobile apps of all time are TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, Zoom, Snapchat, Spotify, Uber, and Amazon, respectively. Also noteworthy is the app Angry Birds. The first installment in the widely popular franchise was released in December 2009 and quickly became a runaway hit. By 2015, over 3 billion downloads were amassed between all entries in the series, making it the most successful freemium software/mobile app game of all time. Welcome back from that break. In case you're just joining us, you're watching the program Tech Talk. We now have in the studio with us Mr. Victor Maduka, who is a mobile app developer. You're welcome to the program today.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Victor, in your own words, can you give us a general overview of what mobile app development is?
Okay, basically in a layman's term, I'm going to put it that mobile app development is a software development phase which is targeted for mobile apps or mobile phones, such as iPhone, Android, using either the native Android platform or you want to develop using the iOS platform. So basically, it's a system architecture whereby the app gets installed on your phone. You don't need to start typing so many URLs to look for whatever apps or services you're trying to get over the internet.
All right, why is it crucial in our world today?
Okay, from statistics, we get to see that virtually everybody has access to the internet and also a mobile device. So it is very crucial because gone are those days when people still have time to want to check out URLs before you can access any internet service. It's very easy. You have it installed on your phone. All you need to do is just one click, and then you get access to such app, be it news, information, and all that. And also, we will want to look at the security part of mobile applications. Going forward, mobile applications are more secured than our contemporary web applications. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what inspired you to be a mobile app developer?
What inspired me? There are a couple of things that inspired me. I think I'll pick the best, which is the global market for it.
Okay.
As a tech person,
Okay.
or as a developer, what we actually look at is solving problems. Okay, we want to solve problems using technologies. So I think that's my major drift towards the mobile application and development. It's actually in trend now. In the global market, it has a wide range of opportunities you can plunge into.
All right. So aside the inspiration, how did you get started in the field?
In tech generally.
In mobile app development.
Mobile development.
Yeah.
Okay, let me give a brief
But you
story.
can give us tech briefly,
Okay.
then you
I
can
think
go
I
on.
started mobile app development around 2017, sorry. Whereas I got into software development in 2016 professionally. You know, like I said, as you begin to move, you have to drift towards the markets. Okay, you have to know what is actually needed in the market for you to strive. Okay, so that was actually one of my major inspiration into mobile application. Meanwhile, I used to be a Java developer, so I love everything about the Java language.
Okay.
You know, and then in those days, one of the niche for building mobile applications is actually Android Studio, which is written in Java. Before, of course, Google came and then they tried to drift the language away from Java into Kotlin. But I think that language itself, being Java, being the language used to develop mobile applications before we began to drift gradually into using Ionic, React Native, Flutter, and the rest of programming languages.
So mobile technology is constantly evolving. How do you stay up to date with these trends and keep your apps relevant in the field?
Okay, to be honest, to be a developer in general is not easy. Not to talk of being a mobile app developer. Like you mentioned, there are a lot of trends that you just have to keep learning. You know, mobile app development phase is a learning phase. You don't outgrow it. You don't get comfortable with what you are doing. Every single day there are new technologies you need to learn, and then you keep improving. So what you actually get to do is, for every technology you get to see out there, you have to learn and then find a way to integrate into your application.
Okay.
But meanwhile, it's not every technology, for the fact that there, let me use this example. There are, let's say, 1,000 ways to boil rice.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to follow the whole process to get your rice
You
done.
can add your own.
You can add your own, and there's some process you use, you end up spoiling the rice.
Yeah.
So for the fact that there are trends you need to catch up with,
Yeah.
you do not actually get to know those trends and begin to integrate into your application, already made application eventually.
Okay.
Now the trends determines, your application determines what kind of trends you inculcate into your app. Okay, for example, in development, mobile development, there's what is called real-time database, which is called Firebase. Okay, now if you're developing a software, a mobile application, and then there's no need for real-time data, you wouldn't want to integrate Firebase because it's a new trend. You have to stick with what works for you or what works for your application or your software in question. So, but eventually you just have to keep building, just have to keep learning, keep getting better. You never can tell which is going to be in need for your software development.
All right. So design plays a significant role in the user experience of a mobile app. What are some key principles to follow, when creating intuitive and user-friendly app interfaces?
Okay, number one is to ensure you implement or you use a UI UX. UI UX, that's user interface, user experience designer. Okay. Now they handle the parts of what the application or the mobile app looks like. more or less you want to call it the look and feel of the mobile application. Okay, and then one of the things that that influence such is design principles. If you do not have the basic design principle as a UI UX person, engineer, or developer, it's going to affect the entire productivity of the software application. So some of the principles are alignment, kind of color gradient you choose, your color mixtures, okay, your choice of animations. There are some UI UX guys that they want to really impress, whoever is giving it the job, or they want to impress the app, and then they get to do a whole lot of unnecessary things, such as animations. When there's too much animations in the designs, you get to see that the V app itself will begin to slack gradually. So I've mentioned alignment, I've mentioned unism. Okay, you're using a particular font size, you're using a particular font, you make sure that your font is actually top notch, the size is equal, is in unison across the whole pages or the whole screens. So actually a whole lot of factors in the UI UX development phase that will affect the mobile applications.
All right, so security and data privacy is a major concern when it comes to mobile apps. So given the sensitivity of the data you're working with, how do you address security and privacy challenges?
Okay, I think that's one of the major advantages of developing mobile applications. For the fact that we have stores like Apple Store and Google Play Store, that is actually one of the big security flex, because you can't let your app out there without passing through the security process. You have to submit the applications to Google for them to verify, data privacy. You have to sign some kind of electronic documents. Also going through the Apple Store, there are some kind of security measures you need to take before your app actually comes live. There's actually an app I'm building currently. I couldn't pass through to Apple Store because I didn't actually do one of the security implementation they asked for. So in mobile applications, there are a whole lot of security features that need to be taking place. Let's say, for example, there's what is called APIs when developing mobile applications. API means application programming interface. Is like a unison between your backend and then your front end. Now, if your API is not secured using the hypertext transfer protocol, which is HTTPS, it's a secured layer for APIs, your software is going to be open to vulnerabilities. That means hackers can easily get hold of that APIs and then do one or two magic. So implementing secured APIs, okay, or we call it REST APIs, is also one way for ensuring that your mobile application is secured.
Okay, mobile apps are available on platforms such as iOS and Android. Could you discuss the factors you consider when developing a native app or a hybrid app?
The major factors I will consider is the features or the functionalities of the app. Okay, there are some applications that have to deal with the kernel of the OS, which is the operating system, which could be either Android or the iOS for Apple. Okay, now when building with native, of course, we have better speed. Okay, when we want a software or mobile applications that have a whole lot of speed, that we have to work with some hardwares of the device, we want to consider native. Native, we could be using an Android Studio to develop apps just for the Android devices. And then when we talk about iOS, we use a tool called Xcode, okay, with a technology called Swift, which is used to develop for just iOS Apple devices. So when you look at an application that have to work with a whole lot of hardwares, now you get to look, okay, what cross-platform technology can I use to tackle these issues? If there are no, then I think there's no need actually to build native if you're not looking at some of these features, okay? Because working with cross-platform technologies save you a whole lot of time. It saves you resources. Okay, imagine spending like 1 month to build a native Android application, and then you have to take another 1 month to build a native iOS application. It's going to take us like 2 months. And of course, the more time, the more payments, since most developers charge by hour. Okay, so when you get to use something like a cross-platform technology such as React Native or Flutter, now you get to see that you're using one stone to kill two birds. You are building using the same resources, the same energy, the same time, but you're actually bringing out an Android application and an iOS application. So in a case where hardware issues or hardware interaction are not necessarily needed, I think there's no need to use native development. But of course, you have to have the idea, the knowledge of building mobile applications using each of these, because at the end of it, you have to export to their different platform. And if you have not worked with individual native platforms, you won't effectively work with cross-platform technologies.
All right, so is mobile app development as a career still profitable, with the emerging technologies like AI, data science, and the rest of them? Do you think mobile app development, choosing it as a career, is it still profitable?
Oh, very, very. I think it's blooming at this point.
Okay.
Because every company now wants a mobile application.
Yeah.
Everyone is scared of cyber attacks. I'll give you one example. Okay, let's say we have MediaTrust.com.
Okay.
All right, it's a big brand, and then someone wants to send you a link. Okay, go to MediaTrust and check. So let's assume MediaTrust.com has a system where you need to sign up, and there's some sort of sensitive information in there. Now, if I send you the URL, dailytrust.com is DAILY trust.com, right? I could omit that I, and I'll send you DALY trust.com. You won't notice that. But as a cybersecurity expert, also, I'm going to notice that omission of the I. Now, this malicious guy, what they do, they remove that I, and then you're thinking it's Daily Trust you're actually going to, but you're actually going to their server. Okay? Now, but with mobile app, you avoid such circumstance. If it is not the app on your phone, it is not it. So if someone says, and do this and do that on this web application, but if you have the mobile app, you just go straight and then you click on it. So that is one, cutting edge that mobile app has.
App monetization is a topic of interest to developers and entrepreneurs. What are the strategies you've used in order to generate revenue for apps?
Okay, basically there are two most popular ways of generating revenue. The first one is ads. When you get to play some games, you see some ads popping up, okay, which most times is called Google AdSense. Now, Google AdSense is one way of monetizing your app, okay, when people get to pay for their adverts to show on your application. Secondly, there's what is called in-app purchase. It's also a way of monetizing, okay. Let's say people need to buy one or two things from your app before they proceed to the next stage, or before using a particular service, you have to purchase so feature. Or in the process of rendering services, you earn money. Let's take fintech, for example. There is no AdSense in it, but they generate revenue income by providing in-app purchase, that they take percentage on deals on what you actually get to buy. So the two strategies, Google AdSense and then in-app purchase, those are the two most popular ways to generate revenue.
Okay, so what are skills required of a person that wants to be a mobile app developer? Just give us 5.
Okay, 5. Okay,
it can be less though.
It can be less, okay. You have to learn, okay, for a hybrid developer, right, or a cross-platform developer, you have to learn either of these, React Native or Flutter. Then you have to learn your database, either MySQL, MongoDB, Firebase, PostgreSQL, either of these. Then you have to learn how to write RESTful APIs, which is the communication between your mobile app and then the back end. I've mentioned 4. Okay, so the last one, okay, let's say you need to learn your CSS, your styling, Then you can pick up a technology. It mustn't be 5, so
you can mention as much as you can,
You can pick up technology such as Tailwind, CSS, Bootstrap, learning your styling, which has to do with the front end. Okay, and then you can pick up any back-end technology, because of course your APIs are written over the back end. So you could want to choose to learn Node.js, or you want to learn Laravel. Me, myself, preferably I like writing Laravel's backends for some security measures. So I think these are the key things you need to learn to
be a mobile
developer. Most importantly, so you have to learn Xcode or Android Studio. Very, very important. Very, very important.
All right. So finally, what advice do you have for aspiring mobile app developers?
Okay. Now, one of the things I see with young developers, everybody wants to jump into the trend without mastering the trend you have. Today you're working on a stack and then you learn or you heard of a new one. You want to leave the one you're working on and then you want to jump into it. Master your gig. That's what I would like to say. But that's what I would actually advise. The one you're actually working on, if you're learning React Native.
So you're saying consistency.
Consistency. Yeah. You should finish learning it before delving into Flutter. Okay. Consistency, practice. Practice make perfect. Work on projects, very important. Most upcoming developers are about the money without practicing the skill. Okay, you have to work on new projects for free. Sometimes you work for free just to gain that experience.
Nigerians don't like hearing that.
Yeah, we like money so much, and then everything we're doing without money, we feel like it's nonsense.
Yeah.
But sometimes you could just spend 2 years learning your stack just to build yourself. So when you come out there, you're very outstanding. Okay, so divorce is not very necessary.
Yeah.
If you're grounded, you're grounded.
And also it's a plus to your resume.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a plus to your resume, because that time you spend in learning, you're building projects, adding up to your resume. So at the end of the day, your resume is a fat one and not a thin one.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Victor Maduka, for coming to the studio.
My pleasure.
We'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll bring you tech tips. Stay with us. Today on Tech Tips, we're giving you tips on mobile app development. Mobile app development involves several key steps and considerations: idea and concept. This is where you decide what kind of app you want to develop, its purpose, features, and the target audience. You define the app's goals and functionalities. Platform selection. Mobile apps are typically developed for specific platforms such as iOS and Android. You need to choose the platforms you want your app to be available on. Design. The app's user interface UI and user experience UX design are crucial for creating a visually appealing and user-friendly app. Design includes layout, colors, typography, icons, and navigation. Development. This phase involves writing the actual code that makes the app work. Different platforms may require different programming languages and development tools. For example, iOS apps are often developed using Swift or Objective-C, while Android apps are commonly developed using Java or Kotlin. Testing. Rigorous testing is essential to identify and fix bugs. Ensure the app functions as intended and provide a smooth user experience. Testing includes functional testing, performance testing, compatibility testing, and more. Deployment. Once the app is tested and ready, it's submitted to the respective app stores, such as the Apple App Store and Google Play Store, for review and approval. If the app meets their guidelines, it becomes available for users to download and install. Maintenance and updates. After launch, you need to continuously monitor and maintain the app. This includes addressing user feedback, fixing bugs that might arise post-launch, and releasing updates with new features or improvements. How to publish an app on Google Play and the App Store. Step 1. Create a developer account. Before you can publish an app on Google Play, you need to create a developer account. You can easily link a developer account to your existing Google account. Step 2. Prepare information about your application. Once you've signed into the Google Play console, You can create an application by selecting all apps from the left menu, then click Create Application to start submitting your application. Step 3. Upload your app's APK or app bundle files. Once you've completed all the prerequisites required for releasing the app, it's time to actually upload the pre-release files. Step 4. Provide an appropriate content rating. If you don't rate your app, it will be listed as not rated. Unrated apps can be removed from Google Play. To get a rating for your app, you need to fill out a content rating questionnaire. Step 5. Set pricing and a distribution plan. If you plan to have users pay for the app, you will need to set a price. In addition, your application may be distributed in specific countries rather than globally. And finally, step 6, publish your app. The final step involves reviewing and deploying your release. Before previewing and deploying a release, make sure there's a green check mark next to in-store listing, content rating, pricing, and distribution. After making sure you have provided this information, select your application and go to the release. And that's how we wrap it up today on Tech Talk. You can drop your comments and contributions on all our social media platforms. Don't forget to join in next week, same time, same station, for a fresh edition of the program. My name is Dorcas Yakubu Zala. Goodbye.